Hey guys, Joshua Peterson at Peterson Electric. This is a fourth part of this video that we're doing for February 2018 on the kitchen remodel that had 2 circuits, and we moved that up to 6 circuits. Wanted to show you this real quick. That was that box fill I showed you in the last video. They had 8 conductors hanging out. The total count on all this is going to actually be just 17 and an 18-inch cubic box. So we did that correctly. As you can see here, as I made one extra spot for the port right here. Can you see that? That's because someone can come in with their meter and check voltage right there at the line side. I typically twist my line but not my load. The reason why I do that is because usually with load you can have a couple stabs, and with line it's a little easier to identify line versus load. Besides the fact I'll put home run, and then I'll put on here the box, maybe the circuit number here, or I'll just take my nice labeler and label it right here. But this will go ahead and stuff in. Very nice. Oh, the last thing I forgot to tell you guys, the ground. As far as grounds go, I make up there's 2 separate circuits in here. You cannot have more than 300 volts in a box, so that's in a commercial situation with 277 480. Now in this situation right here, we have just 240 volts with 2 separate circuits, or if it's on the same leg L1, L2 in the panel, then they'll be both, you know, just 120. But there's 2 separate circuits. This one's coming up and going to here and going to the microwave back and forth, so the AFCI GFCI trips and goes back up. This one right here is coming in, going to be used for the gas range, and going to be used for that outlet on this side of the counter and that little mini fridge in the basement with the pole chain. So bottom line, if you had to come in your trace, you could pop off this Waco connector and then you could separate grounds. I personally don't know if I agree with the code saying that if you have all the conductors in one box, you put all of those grounds together. I don't think that that's wise, because the reason why is that if you have to trace it out, it becomes a nightmare as an electrician to separate your grounds from separate circuits. You don't want to blend it all. But I still met code by twisting all of these, shoving them in the box really deep, and then I just have this combining circuit A, B, and then my pigtail. So anyways, we're going to put that right back in. Keep your grounds low to the bottom so you don't trip your AFCI, GFCI. And then she'll just have to get a little mud work done. Now I'll put on here just a stack, and instead of hammering it, I'll take a deck screw and put on my stack right here in a second. And then as you can see, here's my leftover box volume for what I need to put in. And then boom, there we go for her range or her electric range and all the circuits I had to supply and divide up on this wall. So we'll screw that together, and this will be just a nice little cheap box. She can get someone to mud this right here and here, and that'll be his job, not mine. The reason why I had to go lower on this box is because I had this a support board for these this framing wall coming straight across this way, and if I went up high, I couldn't notch that board in the back of the wall, so I just moved it down. Anyways, guys, this kind of shows you how we trim that out for a box fill, and I'll show you my AFCI, GFCI in my 5th video, and that should wrap up the completion of this chapter. Thanks.